Welcome to Immigration Talk with Attorney Anish. Attorney Anish is an immigration lawyer who has been certified as a specialist in immigration and nationality law by the State Bar of California's Board of Legal Specialization.
Hello, everyone. This is Anish Vashista, and you're listening to Immigration Talk with Attorney Anish, where we discuss immigration topics pertaining to U.S. immigration law. Today's topic, which is first being aired on Friday, February 8th, 2019, is a follow-up on a prior topic that I discussed more than 2 years ago regarding the infamous Kumar Sharma, who many know as Ajit Kumar Bhargava, a convicted criminal who in federal court in Orange County, California, pled guilty to visa fraud, but who today continues to operate his illegal business here in the United States, defrauding many people and doing even worse to others. Now, to give some background for those who don't have the time to listen to the previous show or may not have read any of the articles about Kumar Sharma, basically what Kumar Sharma did was he would appear as though he was an attorney, sell services to individuals, claiming that he could help them with their immigration matter, and then proceeded to file false marriage-based green card applications with United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, or USCIS, wherein the people who hired him for his services, for the most part, had no idea that he was filing these fraudulent documents, making it appear as though they were married to these U.S. citizens whom they've never even met. In some of the cases, or most of the cases, he would pay these U.S. citizens some money, and there's been a lot of talk about how these U.S. citizens who were poor or in difficult situations were taken advantage of so that they can get paid by Kumar Sharma. But today's topic is more about the immigrant victims, the people who are not U.S. citizens, the people who not only lost their money to Kumar Sharma, but lost a lot more. And I'm going to go through the three categories of victims that I have seen and who have talked to me about their cases when it comes to Kumar Sharma. And the first category really aren't victims at all. They're co-conspirators, I would call them. They're people who knew what was going on and yet did nothing about it or allowed Kumar Sharma to proceed, knowing that it would give them the interim benefits or the temporary benefits of work authorization, which they so desperately wanted, even though they knew that what was being filed for them was a fraudulent claim. Those individuals are not the types of people that my law firm helps. Those individuals are people who probably will need a criminal defense attorney. So it's the other two categories that really are the focus of this discussion, and the third category are the people that I really would like to talk to because we have had success in helping them. But first, I want to talk about the second category of people who were victims in the sense that they gave money to Kumar Sharma with the hope that he would provide some type of immigration services to them to normalize or legalize their status. And he took their money, filed these fraudulent claims for them, and then never paid them back. And these people are suffering because now they have this black mark on their record, appearing as though they themselves are in the first category where they're co-conspirators when in fact they're not. They're innocent victims. But what can they do now to resolve their situation if all they are victims of fraud? Meaning they paid the money and didn't get what they had paid for, but other than that didn't really suffer any harm besides the black mark on their immigration record. Well, there's no separate avenue, I think, that they could pursue, but if they were to pursue another avenue in the future, whether it's an employment-based or family-based option or something else, then it is something that they would need to confront. And they would probably want to get ahead of it and report what occurred to law enforcement so that it does not appear as though they are hiding from the problem. Because the more they hide, the more it appears as though they were a part of it or were a co-conspirator. If you're a victim, then you need to report it. And there's a way to go about it. And there's the correct law enforcement agencies to contact. And simply just hoping the problem goes away really is not a solution, because the next time you apply for something, USCIS is going to see that fraudulent filing in your record. Now, there are a couple law enforcement agencies that have been involved. Kumar Sharma was prosecuted by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of California in Orange County. But the underlying investigatory agency was United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which is a part of the United States Department of Homeland Security. United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement is also known as ICE. And now, many people, when they hear the word ICE, especially if they're not U.S. citizens and they themselves are worried about being perceived as being a part of Kumar Sharma's fraud, might want to avoid speaking to ICE. But ICE has been very helpful in the investigation. And to be even clearer, the part of ICE that conducts the investigation is Homeland Security investigations. It's not the deportation wing of ICE that's known as enforcement and removal operations. So when one is reporting to ICE about their victimization, they're not reporting to the same people who are deporting people. And that's very important to know. They're reporting to people who are part of ICE that are trying to investigate and bring people to justice for criminal activity. So with that category, a second category of victims, what's important is to know that while there may not be an individual avenue created by your victimization itself, there is still a benefit in reporting what happens, so that when you do apply for something that applies to you, this black mark on your record can be resolved by your reporting it ahead of time. And now we turn to the third category of victims, which my firm has been successful in helping. We have also assisted people who are in the second category, but they have had to have had an avenue for immigration relief that was already present, that they were pursuing, and they were trying to confront the Kumar Sharma fraud that victimized them, so that such fraud wouldn't bar them from the relief that they're seeking. But the third category of victims are people who are actually forced into labor or services by Kumar Sharma because of what he was able to do to control them through his threats and through his demands. And this is a much smaller group of victims, but my firm has been successful in helping people who have fallen into this category. And basically, a lot of these victims become victims of this third category because they discover what's going on, and they confront Kumar Sharma about it, who then uses their immigration status against them to force them to continue to work for him and to pay him. Otherwise, he would use his claimed access to the immigration enforcement system to have these individuals detained, deported, and harmed upon their return to their home country. It's a very serious matter and very scary for these individuals who felt that they had nowhere to turn other than to do exactly what Kumar Sharma wanted them to do. Some of these victims never really truly discovered what Kumar Sharma did to them, but were still being threatened by him because they didn't want to pay his ever-growing exorbitant fees, and he would still then use his threats of access to the immigration enforcement system to punish these individuals for not doing what he wanted, whether it was getting more clients for him, opening an office for him, completing the actual immigration forms, and so forth. These individuals may have found out about what happened only thereafter, after they escaped from Kumar Sharma, got a copy of their immigration records and saw that he had filed fraudulent marriage-based applications for them based on marriages to individuals they never met, despite, in many circumstances, the fact that they were already married to someone else. Now, it's very important to understand the difference between victim category number 2 and victim category number 3. Victim category number 2 are people who were victims of fraud alone, but they were never forced to engage in any type of labor or services against their will. Whereas victim category number 3 pertains to people who were required to work for Kumar Sharma against their will. And it's important to understand that difference, because that is the difference between whether someone can simply, when filing for some type of avenue of relief that already applies to them, can argue that they were never a party to the fraud, and that's victim category number 2, And on the other hand, people whose victimization creates an independent avenue all in and of itself, whether it's a U visa or more likely a T visa. A U visa is for people who are victims of crime. T visa is for people who are victims of a severe form of trafficking in persons. And I want people to know who are in either category that it's important to talk to someone who is conversant in these avenues of immigration relief so that they can be provided the right advice as to whether or not they qualify for it. Now, Kumar Sharma, unfortunately, even though he was apprehended back in 2011 and had the criminal complaint filed against him in March and April of 2011, and later was convicted and actually sentenced to federal prison time in 2016, unfortunately continues to run his operation here in the United States. He continues to run advertisements in various newspapers, and he continues to make victims every day, collecting their money, filing fraudulent marriage cases, and I guess he needs to pay the bill somehow. So what I would like to do is give people who feel that they've been a victim of Kumar Sharma an avenue to discuss with, whether it's with me or with someone else who is actually a licensed attorney, so that they have the opportunity to find out what can be done to resolve the mess that they now find themselves in. Now, I don't know if Kumar Sharma is actually going to be charged again with any type of criminal activity. I don't know if he's going to be charged with actual human trafficking offenses, but I do know that the T visa doesn't require as much. What is required is that what he has done to you be reported, and that you comply with any request by the law enforcement agency to whom you have reported your victimization. Anyway, this is Attorney Anish, and one last thing I wanted to add. In my last show, we talked about University of Farmington, and there have been some reports about individuals who attended University of Farmington or who had enrolled in University of Farmington being victims similarly by the recruiters. And so I know we discussed what avenues of relief that students at University of Farmington have in my last show, but if there was any type of coercion, then I think it's important that that one discuss what has happened with an attorney, with the possibility of having to report to law enforcement, whether it's ICE, HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, or any other law enforcement agency, what exactly has happened to them. Trafficking isn't limited to only certain circumstances or certain parts of the country. It can happen anywhere in the world, and it still happens here in the United States. And I want people to know that they need to do something about it if they ever want to see any justice, and if they actually want to confront their problems so that they possibly can have a solution to their immigration problem. Stay tuned in for next week when we'll discuss another topic. Please feel free to send me your questions if you want me to discuss them on the air. I'm happy to do so. And please have a good weekend. Thank you.